I agree that Drake lost the beef, but not because of the allegations. That's for casuals. The reason why I say that Drake lost the rap beef is because the lies that he told and how they didn't stand up to the lies that Kendrick told. Kendrick lied and said that Drake had a second child, and nobody cares because, well, he's Kendrick. Drake can't play the same game, and I'll get back to that in a moment. But Drake said that Kendrick beats his wife, but has nothing to really back that up. It just seemed like a shot he threw out there. He was throwing at anything at the wall to see what stuck, and he was doing it to several different people at the same time. So the disses weren't solely focused on Kendrick and solely breaking down Kendrick. You're trying to play the same game as Jay-Z, which is kind of the approach J. Cole took, and then he dipped out, remember? Because he interpolated Jay-Z's bars from Takeover, right? But J. Cole obviously, dipped out. But Drake tried to pull off the same thing where, like, when Jay-Z went at Mobb Deep, Nas, all of them, right? Drake tried to pull that same move, but he couldn't. Because, like, it just wasn't cohesive. It was a very scatterbrained shot. And this track shouldn't be scatterbrained. There should be very straight to the point. So this is what I need to say. This is why you should be on my side. This is why I'm the better rapper. This is why I'm more authentic. This is why I'm hip-hop. Kendrick took that approach. He wasn't worried about whatever the critics were saying. He wasn't worried about what Azalea Banks was saying. Like, he wasn't worried about all that random stuff. And quick side notes. Sorry if I sound weird funny. I'm a little sick right now. Just trying to pump out a video. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. Yeah, you just, like, there's nothing to really say that Kendrick actually did beat Whitney. And, I mean, she showed up in the video, which I'll get back to that later. And, I mean, we know Kendrick's character. Kendrick, his whole music is about his character. There's nothing about Drake's character in his music. I mean, to an extent, yeah, like when he started out with the ladies man type of rap, you know, the stuff that Fabulous and LL Cool J and Nelly are all on, like, you know, trying to sell the sex appeal type of stuff. But he's kind of shied away from that. He's trying to, like, show us he's the biggest gangster in the game, even though he doesn't have the mob ties he says he does, even in that song Mob Ties. So, like, Drake is very confused. He's having an identity crisis. He's having a midlife crisis as a rapper. You can see it. This is why he took this challenge and went after Kendrick in this beef. He's like, okay, how can I show I'm really that guy? Because, you know, the fans, I'm starting to lose the fans. People aren't taking me seriously. They're seeing me soft. And Drake has always hated how people saw him as soft, yet his whole music image is about being soft, and he sells music to soft girls. He doesn't sell music to hardcore dudes. Now that's why he's switching up and dissing Megan Thee Stallion, dissing Ice Spice. Man, nobody cares about what Megan Thee Stallion and Ice Spice, like, people aren't concerned about that in hip-hop. Like, that nobody cares. Like, he's going after people who aren't really threats in the game, and people who have nothing against him. Like, they're just minding their own business. And so now he's taking this misogynistic approach. And Kendrick breaks down how Drake is misogynistic, and there's videos about Drake I agree, Drake is misogynistic. People think that I'm defending Drake. I don't care about Drake. Like, seriously, like, I don't care. So when I'm being unbiased, I'm analyzing strictly over hip-hop. I'm not worried about who's doing what in their personal life. That doesn't mean that I agree with what they do in their personal life. That doesn't mean it's like we shouldn't talk about this. But it's like, do y'all care about the hip-hop aspect as much as you care about the personal life? I don't think so. I don't even think y'all care about hip-hop to begin with, and that's why you waited until this beef before you started giving your opinions, and you started clout chasing and trying to get views and all that, right? But yeah, next I'm going to talk about the false affiliations. You see, Drake is acting like has all these people he's connected to and all these real gangbangers. He does have, like, I guess, street guys from Toronto that he's affiliated with, and that are also as creepy as he said. You know, Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy. But yeah, yes, he's false. But like he said, you know who really banging set? YG, right? YG was with Kendrick. So he has these false affiliations, you know, with basketball players, with rappers, with children, women, like Serena Williams, who also turned on him. You know, one thing I learned this year: never mess with Kendrick Lamar. Remember when Serena Williams said that? So yeah, like, he claims he has all these ties and all these women love him, and you know people like Drake in high school, like they're like the no more Mr. Nice Guy type of, like, they started as a nice guy. It's like, oh, I'm a nice guy, and then they get that nice guys finish last mentality, like, oh, she owes me something even though I just held the door open for her. Like, she's supposed to get down on her knees and love me. And then they turn into no more Mr. Nice Guy, and they get that, you know, the edginess, like, yeah, you know, when they like bad boys, I'm gonna turn to a bad boy, you know what, I don't care about these hoes. And then, you know, they switch up their entire image, and then they have an attitude, and then when they're getting the girls, and they have a whole ego, like, yeah, I'm better than you because I got more girls than you, and, you know, you could see their image is really eating up at them. Like, whole persona is really eating up at them. They're not stable. They're not mentally stable people. That's why they're more focused on why they got girls and not like growing as a person, not having any type of intelligence, not gaining anything. They're just worried about shallow things. The next thing I'm gonna bring up is the slaves free bard. Now, at first when I talked about this, I was like, yeah, Drake didn't say that we were slaves, and Kendrick just kind of. But then now that I realize it, Kendrick actually really. I respect Kendrick for saying that, because Drake literally gave him that opportunity. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do in rap battles. You're supposed to kind of twist things, right? And so when you have someone like Drake who's being considered a colonizer and he's talking about slaves, then I mean, you could put two and two together. So in a way, I guess you could say that he did say that. And even so, even though you twisted it, you're correct. Because how are you going to disrespect the culture you claim to be a part of, and then go on to attack somebody who's speaking about the culture? No, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that Kendrick is saving black people, or he's like the messiah of the black community, the messiah rapper, or anything like that. I don't do this idol worship stuff. But I am saying that he does speak on real issues, right? Drake doesn't do that. So to an extent, I kind of do agree with Pusha T and kind of don't, because when he says that Drake has this big platform, he's not speaking on anything about like the black community and stuff, and is trying so hard to like pander with his half blackness, right? Yeah, he's right, because Drake is trying to be that guy, right? He's trying to be the culture, but he's not speaking on the culture. So how are you doing this? But at the same time, like, he doesn't have to, in a sense, because you're not obligated to. I mean, Pusha T isn't really speaking about the black community. He's mostly just talking about how he used to sell coke a lot. And I love Pusha T's music, right? But so yeah, he is right, but I do see why, like, it's kind of not Drake's responsibility. But at the same time, like, if you're trying to really be the best and you're not speaking on anything and you're just talking about dumb stuff, like, yeah, Pusha T's right. But yeah, the next point is trying to act tough. Now, I've pretty much already mentioned this, but yeah, Drake switched up his image. Now he's trying to be the gangster. He's hanging with 21, you know. 21 gives you false street cred. Thought it made you feel like a slime in your head, you know. Like, I'm with Kendrick on. I like Drake with him, at least. I don't like Drake when he acts. Kendrick, you know, he still thinks that Drake is good. Like, he doesn't think he's a garbage rapper, but he just knows that he's better than Drake, and that Drake is not being authentic to himself. So like, when people are like, oh, Drake is trash just because of this beef, but Kendrick doesn't even say that Drake is trash, it really shows me that y'all don't think for yourselves. You're just sheep. I mean, to an extent, like, I know there are some people who actually don't like Drake to begin with, and I had a point of hating Drake. A lot of people did. I used to hate Drake at a certain point. Like, I liked him and I hated him, and then I started enjoying his music again. I don't listen to him all the time. I listen to him once in a while. It's only specific songs, but like, I'm not a Drake fan, really. I've always found Drake fans kind of corny, to be honest. Like, treating him like he's the mixed Justin Bieber type of thing. Like, that's always been corny to me. But yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, he's trying to act tough. That whole 21 collab album, was it like Her Lost? I thought the album was trash. I'm not gonna lie. Like, probably like a song or two that was decent to me. Beats were okay, I guess. Kind of like wasted the beats. Just a bunch of cringy singing, and you know, the 21, can you do something for me? That was cringe. No, I'm not listening to that ever again. I don't understand how some people listen to that stuff, but yeah, he is trying to act tough. The next point is the Taylor Swift. Now, this also kind of ties into the connections thing. Like, Drake was going after Kendrick for having a song with Taylor Swift, even though Drake is literally a pop star. Like, he's literally said he's the pop star, but now he wants to be the hardcore hip-hop artist. This is like the whole Kamala Harris thing, where it's like, first she's Indian, and now she's mixed, and now she's black, and now if you say anything against her, even if it has nothing to do with the race, you're going at a black woman, and you're doing this, and you're trying to pander to the community, right? That's exactly what Drake is doing. So yeah, they're not like us. But yeah, Drake saying that, like, Kendrick is, like, Kendrick can do whatever he wants. Like, many rappers have done pop records or R&B records, and, like, you know, whether it's their own or they're hopping on somebody else's song, like, who cares? Like, what does that really say? Like, unless Kendrick is claiming to be some super underground artist, like his fans purport him to be, then I guess that makes sense. But Kendrick isn't saying he's some underground artist and some hardcore street dude, and this whole thing is that he's a good kid in a mad city. Like, what is so hard to understand? Like, and Drake is a good kid in a good city. That's the funny thing. So, like, why is Drake acting like this? But yeah, so Taylor Swift, her producer, was literally working with Kendrick and actually worked on the song 616 in LA, and there's a whole video on this by What's the Dirt, I believe the name is. That whole video was cool, right? You should check him out. But yeah, like, so what? So kind of like twisted in Drake's Cause like, Taylor Swift is the biggest gangster in the industry. He said in like that AI song. What's it called again? Tailor-made freestyle. Yeah. And then that blew up in his face. Next, I want to talk about delivery. Now, you can't lie. Even if you didn't like the Kendrick diss track, so you don't like Kendrick at all, you can't lie, bro. He obviously had good delivery, and that's why the song is stuck in your head. That's why the song is everywhere. I mean, wow, that's hype, right? You may say it's forced or whatever, but it's still like, it's catchy, and that's kind of a good thing for a diss track, to be catchy, because now it's ringing in your ears. Now every time you think of this artist, you're that catchy song's gonna pop up in your head, right? Because it's just in the back of your brain, just trying to break free in a sense, right? Like Kendrick played it smart, because now it's like one of the biggest songs in the country. It's on the charts, it's here, it's there, you're hearing it everywhere. There's no way to escape that. So in a way, it's kind of like haunting Drake's dreams. It's, a funny way to put it. But yeah, like the delivery, right? Because like, you don't want to work with me no more. Okay. What is it, the braids? Like, it's just fun to say, and like you can say it in any context. I love songs where you can just say it in any context or hear it in any context. Like, remember the box, the that ad lib, and when you're like cleaning the windows, you're cleaning the mirror, and you're using Windex, and you're and you think of that, right? Remember that when that song was popular, like back in the just before the pandemic and throughout the pandemic, like that was a time, right? That was fun. But yeah, delivery, like A minor, like he made what Drake did more interesting, like with Day Free. He sounded like his voice was decaying. Like he sounded like he was dying. Like it almost sounded like he was forced to do this beat. Like he like went into this feeling cocky, which is actually my next point, and then he just sounds kind of uninspired. But yeah, next point is cocky, right? He was getting too full of himself. He's thinking, yeah, I'm that guy, nothing's gonna happen to me, I'm the best rapper, yeah, this is not gonna affect. Like he got played. He played himself. He got too full of him. This is what he always does. He thinks he's better, he thinks he's that guy, until he gets clowned. He does something stupid, right? That's why nobody's really taking him seriously anymore. Now my next point is he copied Kendrick's strategy, because Kendrick obviously, like, he stretched the truth, right? And made fun of Drake with the truth that he stretched. And Drake tried to play that same game, but it didn't work in his favor. Like when he tried to say that he again beat Whitney. He couldn't lie the same way Kendrick lied, because Kendrick, he's already been honest. He already like kind of pulled the Eminem strategy and said what you would have said about him beforehand. That kind of, so some people put it together like maybe he dropped Mr. Morale before he knew he was gonna do the beef, so he's gonna drop the album before he does that beef. So now there's no ammo against him, because like in the grand scheme of things, like when it comes to dissing, like you have to have something against somebody, right? Like Jay-Z saying that Nas is a fake gangster, Nas saying that Jay-Z sold his soul. Like there has to be some kind of idea, some main point to why we shouldn't like this guy, why this guy isn't a real rapper or a real MC or something like that, right? So Kendrick has this point of Drake being a colonizer, Drake being fake, Drake being a pedophile, Drake being this, and like, he's just not authentic, right? But what is Drake's point against Kendrick? That's the question. The fake messiah? Okay, but how does that rival being fake gangster, being a colonizer of the culture? Like, it just really isn't something that really strikes deep. Like, well, it's something that can really break Kendrick's image, especially when he's a private person, especially when his music is about positivity, right? So how can you like really get in the the goody two shoes' face? So he did not play it smart. So he tried to copy Kendrick's angle of like, yeah, I'm gonna say something that's not true, and people are gonna eat it up, but it didn't work, because he's not Kendrick. He has so much on him. Like I wouldn't even. Like, I'm not gonna go as far to say that Drake's pedophile. He's obviously a creep, a groomer, obviously. Yeah, you see this, and I've noticed this before this beef even happened. That's why I didn't really like take Drake too seriously, right? So, like, Drake has too much on him. Like, it's all over the media. You can go back to the old videos and old clips of him saying this and that, or even when he said the N-word with the hard R and that Canadian accent. That was very cringe. As a Canadian, a black person from Canada, like, I find that very cringe. But yeah, I'm a fan of the culture. Next point, allegations. Why Kendrick did not need to address them. Kendrick did not need to address the allegations about Whitney, the allegations about any of the things that Drake said he's done, right? Drake needed to, and this is why. Again, Drake is not Kendrick. He's not a private person. Everything he has to do is in the public. His messy life, his sloppy work ethic, who he's affiliated with, but it's just all business. It's not real friendship, not real connect. Kendrick is friends with the people you see him with, a lot of them, right? Drake isn't, and that's not really good, because now anybody can turn to you at any moment. Nobody takes you seriously, and nobody wants to be a fan of somebody who isn't taken seriously, right? because you kind of want to live vicariously. They want their artists that they listen to be a reflection of who they are. So they see Kendrick as a pretty honest person, and they want to be seen as an honest person. They're going to be following Kendrick. So to an extent, I can understand why people think that you're a reflection of who you listen to. But at the same time, some people are just at the music, and they separate the art from the artist, especially depending on the artist. So when I say that, like, I like certain Drake songs, I'm not a pedophile, obviously, right? Even though I don't think Drake is a full-on pedophile, but still, I'm not a pedophile, and I'm not even a Drake fan. So I don't see how you can make that connection if I say that, okay, here's what Kendrick went right, but here's where he kind of went wrong, or this is why Drake, this is one good thing that Drake did just during this entire beef, and then you're gonna go say, how dare you say something good about Drake? Are you a pedophile? You're a pedophile. That's what. Oh, you guys love Drake. Yeah. What is wrong with you? You're a Drake lover. Oh, you should never have kids. Oh, you evil moron. Like, calm down. It's literally not that serious. Like, did I say that I'm worshiping Drake, or Drake is an innocent man, or like, nobody's saying that. I don't think anybody's really saying it. Drake's a full-on innocent man. Like, this is just taken out of proportion. So when you have the Hard Part 6, where it's like, again, I'm saying this, I've said this several times, like, it's a defense track, it's not a diss track, it's a defense track, because he's just like saying, oh, Millie Bobby Brown. Nobody even mentioned Millie Bobby Brown, so that kind of just blew up in your face, and he said people who fed you the information is all clowns, but we fed you the information, so you are the clown. Like, it's just funny, right? And like, there's literally nothing in that song that could be like anything against Kendrick. Like, it's literally just like, oh, everything is blowing up in the face. What do I say? How do I clean up my image again? Like, it's just so dumb. To not break down Kendrick is my next point, right? Because Kendrick scaled down Drake's entire character, his entire persona, but Drake didn't do the same thing to Kendrick again. Like, you had the entire Mr. Morale album to go after, and you say something that's not even correct in the album. You say that Kendrick was touched as a child. You did not listen to the song at all. You do not want to make yourself look like you did not even listen to the artist if you're going at them. That is such a dumb idea. Like, Nas listened to Jay-Z before he dissed him. Like, he didn't just say, okay, I'm a diss Jay-Z and just say whatever. It's like when, oh yeah, here's a good example. When Nas said that the girls called you ugly. What's the line again? He's like, scared to smile, they called you ugly. Like, remember that line underneath there? Because you have to realize, because that was back in December 2001 when Nas dropped that diss track and dropped that album, Slumhatic. And 3 months earlier, September 11, 2001, Jay-Z dropped The Blueprint, one of his most iconic albums. And in that album, there's a song called Song Cry, where he's talking about like relationships, right? Like how he's feeling remorse, right? About a girl, right? And in that song, he's like, they used to say that I was ugly and wouldn't touch me, or something along those lines, right? So Nas obviously listened to that song to have that against him, right? So you have to listen to the artist you're going against. You can't just say anything, because that just makes you look like an idiot. The next thing I want to bring up is the singing. Now, there's obviously singing in hip-hop, like, even back in the 90s. Like, this isn't just something that the new generation has come up with. Like, there's always been singing to an extent. But in a beef, when have you ever seen a diss battle, and you've seen singing? Like, if you're singing, I guess, a little bit of, kind of like, you know, harmonize, I don't even know what the proper word is, but like, if you're kind of like singing a little here and there, and it's a certain thing, right? Fine. But if you're sending a shot at somebody and you're singing, it's kind of just weird. It just, there's no aggression. Yeah, this battle's supposed to have some kind of aggression. Like, yeah, I'm here. This is what I have to say. This is what I have to say against you. Like, why are you singing so much at the end of push-ups? Throughout, what's the song called again? Family Matters. Like, Drake didn't put down his R&B, because that's what he is at his core. He's R&B. He's an R&B rapper. So he didn't put that away to have this diss battle. Like, he's just singing over the songs. Next is the Scatterbrained Shots, you know. He's saying this here about The Weeknd, saying this here about Rocky, saying this here. Like, he can't battle it like Jay-Z. Like, focus on Kendrick. Focus on the one that you were going after in the first place. Like, you're not Master Chef of hip-hop. You can't just, like, be working on this here, working on that there, right? And next point, break up the family members. You know this from the Pusha T beef, man. Why are you still bringing in people's, like, the women in people's lives? Like, it's just so corny. Like, your whole persona is that you're some ladies man, yet you're worried about women settling down with other guys, and you're jealous. At your core, you're jealous. You think that, oh, I have more women, so that means I'm superior, but you're jealous. Like, we can see it. Because there's even clips of you saying you wanted to settle down, but you have to find the right one. And that's why you're so mad about Pusha T having a wife. You're mad about Kendrick having a fiance and whether he's married her or not. Like, why is that any of your business? So to an extent, I understand why this took a more gossip and personal approach. To an extent. Because Drake keeps bringing up people's, like, he's not keeping it hip-hop. He's worried about what other people are doing in their lives. So Kendrick took it to the extreme and blew it up in his face, right? So I understand, right? Next point, he didn't prove he didn't prove against any allegations. He kind of just accepted them. And next point after that, Kendrick had Whitney and the kid in the video, directed by Dave Free, who Drake said was the father of his kid, and produced with Taylor's producer, which I already said. So yeah, like, that blew up in his face. Next, Drake asked for this. He's been asking for this since Control, saying that he kind of wished Kendrick went there. And he's like, oh, he said what he said on the Control verse, and he tried to give me a hug, or I saw him at the award show or whatever, or on the red carpet or whatever. Drake, you've been asking for this. Nobody forced you into this. You did this yourself. And yet how are you gonna ask for this and you're not even ready? You're not even sure. You don't even have a chance of winning. That's why Drake lost. Let me know what your opinion is. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Content out.